Did you know I have my own set of paints with my name on it, and I use those paints in almost every single video? Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and around here we make art and it's fun, not scary. And I have my own set of paints. Packaging is designed by me, and more importantly, all of the colors are my favorite colors, the ones that I use all the time, the pigments that I can't live without. If you want to paint like me, I want to talk to you today about why I love these paints, where you can buy them, and then we're going to do my favorite thing ever, which is to create a whole bunch of watercolor doodles on the theme of fall. Let me quickly show you what supplies I'll be using. A lot of my favorite supplies. This is my Strathmore watercolor sketchbook. It's 5x8, which is a size I really love. It has cold pressed 140-pound paper. You can see me use this sketchbook in many videos. And if you like the People Doodles video, remember there is an e-course coming. Link in the description to sign up to be notified about the pre-sale, which is the best pricing. Okay, you'll need a pencil and eraser, and then a black brush pen. And this is my go-to black brush pen lately. It is from Lyra. It is a really nice stiff brush pen, which I like. It gives you a lot of control, but it has that nice fine point and then the larger belly. Here's what the packaging looks like if you want to shop the same supplies. I really love this set of pens. And as usual, all supplies are linked in the video description. And then there's my paint set. This is from Aquafine. It has my art on it. Aquafine produces 60 colors, but my set has 24, chosen by me. I've chosen beautiful deep blues and magentas for mixing, lots of browns and greens, because you know we love to paint the natural world around here. And let's just open it so you can get a sense for what it looks like. It's a travel size, but you can I just add an extra palette or plate when I'm painting if I need a lot of colors. And today I want to show you how beautiful these paints are, how well they mix, and how lovely they are on the paper. You've seen me use them in many videos, but I just thought it was high time that we do another video really showcasing this product because I'm really proud of it. And one of my favorite things to do each season is just a bunch of seasonal doodles. And I'll start with a very basic pencil sketch or doodle. And then once we've just captured like the basics of, say, a jack-o'-lantern, we go around and really make that doodle pop with the black brush pen. The key here is that you're going to do some thick lines and some thin lines, make it look really illustrative. Let's do one together so you can see what I mean. So in pencil, I do the most basic doodle. Here I'm going to draw some rose hips. So I just sketch out some ovals, join them with a stem, maybe add a few leaves. We'll put a little, nubbin on each berry to really make them pop. And then we start going over everything with the black brush. It's this step that allows you to take a doodle or sketch that's kind of basic, some ovals for berries or a round pumpkin with a face, and make it into a sophisticated illustration. Try to focus on creating some lines that are really thin, others that are a little thicker, and don't worry if the pen wobbles a bit. That looks cool. Next up, I want to draw some asters, so I start by drawing 3 circles and joining the circles with a stem. Then I put a little circle in the middle to mark the stamen and kind of just draw some messy lines to mark the petals. From there, I've got everything I need to, go in with the brush pen. And same thing over here for the leaves. A couple ovals are joined with stems, then I give them a bit of shape, and then it's when I add the brush pen that the very simple doodle comes together and becomes an artistic illustration. And you may even, a keen eye may notice that I'm actually holding my pen differently than I usually do. Yeah, I've lessened my death grip. I've been practicing holding the pen the correct way because I've always held it my own way, which is totally fine. But I wanted to point that out because I have less control right now than I normally would, a lot less. My lines may be a little shaky, a little wobbly. That perfectly imperfect look, that's a good thing. It's interesting. Next up, I want to draw a squirrel together. We're going to start simple. The guide for the squirrel is just a circle for the head and then this big lump of a body. Okay, got that? Circle and a lump, and then give the little guy 2 ears and work out the shape of the tail. So everything starts with a guide. You never have to just draw a squirrel. Start with the head and the lump of a body, then the tail, give him that one big leg, maybe 2 little mitts for hands. And then I've put his eyes quite low and his little nose. And then there's that one other little foot sort of peeking out there, and he could sit on some grass. Continue to refine that sketch until you are happy with it, meaning continue to add detail to the basic mitt shape or the ear shapes. Then when you are happy with the sketch, that's when we grab our black brush pen, and then we make this simple doodle look really, really great by adding, some thin lines and some thick lines. And we're going to do little broken lines to show fur, and we're going to put a little extra shadow on the base of the body. So the lines will be a little thicker on his legs and really a bit more thin and delicate maybe on his hands or his snout. We'll add his little eyes. I think I could have done the eyes a little farther apart, but that's okay, no matter. And he's going to be holding a little flower and sitting in the grass. And then I've also sketched 2 really simple little mushrooms beside him as well. And I like the way that looks. And the mushrooms are just weird shapes with a stem. So you can pretty much do any shape, some sort of oval or circle or donut, whatever you want. And you could put a little grass there as well. And that is our Autumn Doodles page. I want to get rid of all of those pencil marks and just wait till you see how good this looks with all the pencil gone. The black illustrations really sing. And then all we have to do is add a little pop of watercolor. And we're going to do that with these exceptional paints. For this project, you'll need 1 small paintbrush. These are my go-to brushes, the Velvet Touch from Princeton, and I love the round shape and the filbert. I'll be using a number 6 round for the majority of this. Now I'm going to start by mixing up a little bit of red, and my favorite red is Rose Madder Hue. It's this beautiful magenta that mixes so well, mixed with burnt umber. So that gives me a gorgeous dark red, Rose Madder Hue and burnt umber. And I actually like to wet the cakes of paint. That's always a good idea, no matter what paints you're using. Just put a little water on the cakes of paint. A nice orange is light red mixed with Naples yellow. I'll be using that for the jack-o'-lantern. And then for the asters, I'll use ultramarine, rose madder hue, and a little bit of white. Gives me a nice warm light purple. And then what I want to do is take these colors, so I'm starting with the orange for the pumpkin, and we just fill in, but we don't fill in too perfectly. So leave a little space around the black lines. Give yourself that white paper showing through. A bit of negative space goes a long way on these illustrations. As I get closer, you can see what I mean. Same thing with the asters. I've just got a little bit of that warm purple in the round brush, my number 6 round brush, and I come over here and I just do these thin little sketchy brush strokes to indicate petals, and I'm leaving lots of white page showing through, lots of white space. My favorite green is, there's a beautiful olive green in this set as well as a sap green, and I reach for both of them, but I love to mix in just a little hint of that burnt umber or magenta, and that will give you a warm earthy green that's perfect for fall. Let's follow the shape of the stem using our round brush. And then for the leaves, just a messy brush stroke or 2 with negative space showing through. I think you get the idea. Okay, let's use that red that we mixed up and we will paint these mushroom caps. I'm carefully going around not too carefully, going around the little dots, and again, leaving lots of negative space. You want to see page showing through. You want to make it look like you used a coloring book but didn't quite get the concept. And let's grab a little bit of the green and we'll start adding to the grass. I like to do a few loose brush strokes following the lines that I've put down with pen, and then I'll rinse my brush, and with just a little water in the brush, I'll come back and kind of blend that more saturated green out towards the edge of the page. So it just gives me a nice little patch of grass there. And then I'm going to mix that rose madder hue again with a little ultramarine and a little bit of indigo, and that gives you this really nice dark burgundy. If you want it a little warmer, just put more of that magenta, that rose. And if you want it a little darker, a little more indigo or a little cooler. And we're going to come up here and paint our rose hips. I've mixed a light gray using Payne's gray and white, and I just put a little at the top of the mushroom stems, and then I even added a little burnt umber there, and you can see how beautifully the pigment blends on the paper. Next, I'll mix a light warm brown for our squirrel. I'm using Naples yellow and burnt umber with just a hint of white, a little more Naples yellow. And once I've got this really creamy, slightly opaque brown, that's when I'm going to come up here and we're going to paint everything except his belly and his tail. So we'll leave his belly and tail a little lighter, but as I do his face, I want to be careful to give myself some space around his eyes and his snout, and then we'll add a little more white to that brown to lighten it up a bit, and that's the color I'll use on the tail and his belly, and I think that's going to look so sweet. Want a little extra help with your watercolor doodles? You can grab my reference image/coloring page, transfer it into your watercolor sketchbook, and follow along. Sign up now at patreon.com/Shayda Campbell to support this channel and get weekly bonus content like coloring pages, worksheets, and extra videos. For a nice warm light yellow, try Naples yellow with lots of white and a hint of burnt umber or Van Dyke brown. Perfectly imperfect, fill those leaves in with whimsy. I added a little more white to that yellow for the leaf and the jack-o'-lantern's face. And then a blend of light red and a bit of brown gives you this really great rust color, and that's what I'm using on the second leaf here. And then we could even grab a little bit of orange and release it into that wet pigment on the first leaf, and you can see how beautifully those pigments blend on the paper. Now at this point, we've colored everything in, so to speak, and if you like, we can do a little wet on dry. So when you're working wet on dry with watercolor, you can be wonderfully precise. You can add little details and you don't have to worry that they're going to, move, because watercolor, of course, when it's wet, you get a lot of blending and blurring. So add a little darker purple to the aster. Maybe you want to add a second leaf here or there. I sort of like the whimsical look that comes when you add other things to the illustration, so some of the items do not have that black outline. I added a little darker orange on the jack-o'-lantern, and then I thought I had kind of wanted to do a slice of apple or just some kind of apple as part of this illustration. You can see my cute little apple air dry clay eraser dish, clip dish. I made that very recently, so I guess I wanted to paint one as well. And I just wanted to show that you can always start with the painting, and in fact, this can be a really freeing way to do it. Do a cutesy, perfectly imperfect doodle with watercolor, and then add the black illustrative lines, and kind of finish it that way. And you can just make sure that the line doesn't follow the painting too perfectly, and you'll get the same look. So have fun, try some fall doodles maybe that I didn't show, and create a whole sketchbook page for yourself using my Shayda Campbell watercolor paints. Just a reminder, friends, if you would like to purchase these paints, they are available on Amazon.com. I do think some EU Amazon has them. Okay, thanks for being here. Hit that subscribe button. Head over to Patreon if you'd like to get the coloring page, and I'll see you soon with a new tutorial.